Compression explained as fast as humanly possible. So we've got this bass performance. I'm going to play a snippet. As you can see, the loudest parts are kind of louder than they need to be, and the quiet parts are a little too quiet. So we're going to use a compressor to go ahead and compress it, which is going to squish those volumes down to be a little more similar, and then the bass is going to sound a little more consistent. So the first thing you need to understand about compression is the threshold. The threshold is the volume where anything above it gets compressed, and it's represented by this orange line on this plugin. So if I slide the threshold down to -60, every single thing that is above -60 decibels is getting compressed, and it's represented by this red dot that's moving around. If I turn the threshold all the way up to 0 decibels, nothing is getting compressed, and it's all the same volume. So I'm going to set the threshold to where the loudest notes turn red, but the quieter ones stay white. That way, the louder notes are getting turned down. So now that our threshold is set, we're going to talk about ratio. And ratio is actually how steep of a change this is going to be. It's how much it's getting turned down. So 100:1 means that basically every single thing that is above this threshold of -22 is going to get turned down to -22. So when I hit play, everything that's red is turned down. Now, if I turn the ratio to 1, then it's really not steep at all, and it's really not getting compressed at all. So somewhere between like 2 and 5 is a pretty safe bet, because you just want to turn it down a couple decibels. You don't want to absolutely slam it like this. Now it's a little too compressed. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is knee. And knee is actually the curve of this angle. So I'll go ahead and show you by turning the ratio up a little bit, we get a steeper angle. But when you turn the knee up, it smooths it out. So everything that is in this range is not getting compressed quite as hard as everything that's up in this range, and that can help it sound a little more natural. So now you see this is more orange, and everything's getting compressed based on how much louder it is or quieter it is than the threshold. So I like to find just kind of a natural spot with the knee. For this, I think somewhere around 15 sounds pretty good. Now, attack and release is how quickly the compressor is going to turn down everything above the threshold, and then how long it takes for the compressor to stop compressing. So if you get those numbers wrong, then you can get kind of an unnatural pumping effect. Like right here, you can kind of hear it doesn't really sound right. So I'm going to turn the attack back up, and I'm going to turn the release up a little bit because I don't want it to be super fast and super pumpy. I just want it to sound natural. And then the last setting on the compressor that we're going to talk about is gain. So you've turned down the loudest notes. That means when you turn the compressor on, your bass is going to be quieter in the song than it was before. So you can use this gain to make up the difference, which is why some plugins have it labeled as makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the gain up just a smidge. If you turn it up too high, then it's going to be louder than it was before, and that's not what you want. You want it to just basically be the same volume as it was when you didn't have the compressor. And you can actually see on this gain reduction meter right here, the loudest parts are getting brought down by about -3 to -5 decibels. So you can use that as your guide. So now we've got a bass performance where the low notes sound louder, the high notes are brought down just a smidge, and then the makeup gain is bringing everything right back to the volume that it was before. Hope this helps a lot. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit like, tag a friend, send this to someone who does not understand compression, and I'll see you next time.